You're listening to Arsenal Pass, a flesh and blood podcast for players by players. And all about strategy, leveling up, and the latest news in the world of Wraith. Welcome to Arsenal Pass.
Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 242 of Arsenal Pass. Hayden Dow here with no Pankaj Bhojwani this week, but I am joined by two very special guests, both of our finalists from the 2025 Flesh and Blood World Championships, teammates and members of PCG Invasion. And fitting, as this week's pod is all about building a successful team in Flesh and Blood, I want to welcome to the podcast 2025 World Champion Michael Jaszczur and 2025 World Championship finalist Matthew Dilks. Boys, how are we doing?
Good.
I'm doing well.
always a man of many words, both of you, actually. I want to start off for those that haven't, for some reason, watched Flesh and Blood coverage in 2025, weren't tuning into the World Championships. Jaszczur, I'll start with you. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, who you are, if people don't already know about you. How long have you been playing Flesh and Blood?
I think I've been playing for maybe like 4 years, but I think I started around Monarch. So this year's been pretty hyped, though. Got a little Pro Tour top 8 and a Worlds win, you know? It's hype.
Yeah, for those that aren't familiar, you, of course, top 8'd in London earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Along with another teammate, Sean Dhaliwal, right? And then again, and we're going to talk about all these things as well, but those that aren't aware, what was your first kind of breakthrough top 8? You had a calling top 8 not long after starting, right?
I think I top 8'd Indianapolis with playing Oldham. I think this was like 2023.
CC,
maybe?
Right?
Yeah.
What about you, Matt Dilks? For those that don't know, people might know you from other card games as well. I remember seeing your name, SCG, Magic the Gathering, back in the day as well. But tell us about your sort of history of Flesh and Blood for those that don't know.
I would have started playing around when Eversfest came out, I guess. It was kind of just after that first US Nats that Tarek won. And then Joel came second on the calling. And those were both two really good friends of mine. So that's around when I would have gotten to the game.
What was your first sort of event that you got into, or I guess first big event for yourself? Was it being one of the PTs, one of the callings?
My first calling top 8 was Charlotte. I don't remember the year. It was also with Oldham. But I would have kind of broke on to like the PT. My first PT I qualified for was Lille. I just kind of missed out very narrowly for PT1. I just got into the game during that ProQuest season, so I didn't quite get there. But yeah, been around.
You were one of the Dash boys, right? Wait, did you also play Dash at PT Lille, Jaszczur?
No, I played Viscerai.
Oh, okay.
It was horrible.
Yeah, Michael wasn't 100% involved, I don't think, with us at that point, so he wasn't privy to our
the dash deck that got leaked the week before. The story about that is the dash, the Wombat dash, I guess they were calling it then. It won the calling like the week or 2 weeks before the PT, and we were testing that deck pretty heavily. And as soon as it won, we should have been off it, but we did not get off it. And it didn't go great at Lille, but I don't know. It was still a decent deck, I think.
Yeah, I was at that calling. It was calling Singapore. It was literally the week before, like the weekend before, which I think now usually a calling's 2 weekends before if they're going to do a calling before, because you still might want some testing time. I'm pretty sure it was the guy was running Talishar, right? I'm pretty sure Jason, I think his name was.
Yeah, so were we. I think we ended up not being on Talishar because everyone kind of knew about it. But we're still doing the like pounder aggressive boost plan. But yeah, we should have just played Briar, I think, in hindsight. But, you know, you live and you learn.
I should have played Briar for sure.
You live and you learn. I always think, you know, a bit of a... I was going to play Dash for PT1 with Declo Pounder, one of my favorite cards of all time. That would have probably been a big mistake, so, to be honest. Bigger than playing it at PT2, I would have thought.
I played Levi at a PT though, so
This is true. I want to actually let's quickly talk about that, because you're now a world champion, but I want people to know if they don't know, because you've been invoked many times on this podcast, mostly by Brendan Patrick in the days of, as we call them, BP days. And he would often invoke your love of Levia. You know, what other heroes have you registered at PTs or callings that might have been a little bit dubious? Because that was PTLA, right? You registered Levia, if I remember. I remember testing with you the night before.
That was the best deck. That was the best deck at PTLA. I'll stand by it. It was broken. I went 2-2, but it was a good 2-2. You know,
that's what the calling
Tark always says. He'll go to an event and then he'll go 2-2. Like, yeah, but it was a good 2-2. Not a bad 2-2.
Any other dubious calls?
I played any other horrible decks. I think Syndra and Singapore maybe a bit sus, you know, but
no. Okay. I think that's a defensible. I think Viscera
was a horrible pick for
Lil.
PT Lil, yeah.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
That was when he was on his own. They're up.
That was on my own.
Yeah, they're up to no good. I will say in Woodstock, and the deck lists weren't always the best. We'll say.
There was no excuse for LA though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you played Victor in the calling the next day, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, that was a good time. I don't want to talk about that.
That's a fat pivot if ever I saw one.
There's an unfortunate game I played against Dilks at 5-0.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dilks won that calling as well. Yeah,
yeah.
Infamous calling, that one. All right, I want to get on to our usual. We're gonna hit our usual topics of the podcast this week in Flesh and Blood. Both of you, what have you been playing this week? Are you testing for anything at the moment? Have you been playing much Flesh and Blood since the World Championships? Michael, let's start with you.
I got back from Worlds and I went to an armory and played a Cilia. Went 1-2 on the books. I went 1-2, but it was like basically a 2-1. And then
free was it?
I was just super sick for like the past 2 weeks, so haven't played too much. But I'm testing for Seattle, so have to play some Levia and some Jarl to get it out of the system, hopefully. And
maybe.
That's what I've been doing.
Matt, what about you?
Usually during these downtimes, I either take this time to like kind of chill or learn some new decks or play some off the wall stuff. And the last couple armories, I've been playing Olympia, so it's definitely in the latter category of decks. But I don't know, it's just been fun. You know, you flip over 5 marvels. That's pretty cool.
Off the wall and out of the trash can and into the field of play. Yeah. Great X.
Yeah, Decimator, just basically because I'm lazy. I don't know. You just kind of test the locals to see.
You're just skill checking your locals.
just blocking, and I just kind of have a vacation after work. You know, like that's what I called playing Syndra also for armories after work. I just turn my brain off and play head jobs. This is the same thing except the reverse. You just block.
I'm a big fan of teaching players at an armory how to beat fatigue. You know. Or make them feel miserable. I don't know. Whatever comes out of it, I guess. Fair enough. Well, I'm on your camp as well of this downtime being downtime, right? Either playing some stuff that I can't talk. If you look at my Fabry tabs, it's 5 in a row Rhinar decks right now. So I'm firmly sitting in that camp as well. How hard can I beat chest or not? I guess.
Yeah, you can't hate on me for playing Levia and then you're the Rhinar.
I guess I played a skirmish also this past weekend.
Oh, nice. What did you play?
That was, I played KO.
Okay.
Also, it's kind of a lazy pick also, I would say. But KO is very strong, I think, in Blitz.
Yeah, it might be best.
I got a show start or whatever the Bravo guard is. I don't know. Went well.
Show starter. Yeah, to be fair, Michael, though, I haven't registered Rhinar in an event though. I've come close.
You're lucky.
I've
been able to save yourself.
I know. I can't bring myself to do it. I'd love to though. I'd love to do it, even if it was a calling. Or technically, I registered it for a calling, but it was in Blitz, and it was kind of insane. So I was killing people on turn 1 with double Blood Rush all day. Well, not all day, but
are you playing in Japan? Japan Pro Tour.
I will be there. I might be playing, might be casting. Not sure.
Okay. Next tier 4, we play together. You play Rhinar, I play Levia.
I'd say I'll make the Michael call and I'll play whatever you're playing. How about that? And if you're playing whatever Tarek's playing, in theory, that should be a good choice.
Don't put that on me.
I'll play whatever Dilks plays then. Actually, I don't know if I don't know if I can pilot the decks that Dilks likes to play though. That's gonna be my problem. I want to ask you both about that actually in the main topic. But anyway, let's get on to the news. Pretty short news this week. Do want to give a congratulations to Paul von Heysel for winning World Tour Valencia on Gravy Bones. I'm sure Dilks is proud to see a Gravy Bones take another event there. Big Gravy Bones fan over here. 422 players. I want to ask you both. This is off season with a quote unquote stale meta, but we've got nearly 500 players that are calling. What do you think of this meta game, I guess? And do you think in a week's time or a week and a half's time we're going to see some bannings? I saw a tweet that James White replied to. I had to double check that was actually James White that had replied to it. You know, all the deep fakes these days, but it appears to be from his official account where he said he agrees that it's time to shake up the meta with the banned and restricted. So I don't know, Dilks, let's start with you. What do you think of this meta, and do you think we're gonna see some bannings or unbannings maybe?
So I personally agree that I do find it to be a little stale. It's a pretty tough meta. Even going to Worlds, it already felt like kind of old, but it's hard to like really like sit in that camp when obviously there's a lot of other stuff going on in the format still. Like the next tier down of heroes are pretty close to what the top three heroes are. Like we didn't even see Syndra
Olympia
in this top 8. Olympia is not one of these heroes that I'm referencing, but like there is a lot other things going on in the format. I would personally like to see something a little different going into the new year and RTN season. Do you want me to answer what I would like to see happen,
yeah,
or what
on.
I think could possibly happen?
Hit us.
So I would kind of lean, like you could go the ban route. It kind of really depends on what Elsis's goals are. But you could like go and take cards away from the top 3 decks or whatever, and make them less consistent. And they're kind of like equivalent cards. You're talking about like Wrath or Brand, Cineclaw, or you take like you go like really hard and take Felling or something like that would be like kind of crazy, or like Carapace and Autumn's Touch. But I would like to see like maybe an unban to kind of like add an additional like wrinkle into the metagame, like maybe like Talk a Big Game, like that card got banned before we even saw what we could do with it, and like shout out Nick for that one. But like that could be something interesting, like a new wrinkle in the format, maybe like completely shake up the metagame as you see now, and it could maybe it leads to a tier 0 deck. I don't know, but like I haven't really thought about it that much. But you could also do like kind of ban swaps as well. Like this is another Nick idea of like unbanning Scepter of Pain but banning Millennium Tree, and then you kind of hit Verdance, but you also give like Florian a kind of that avenue back into like the stack Florian build. People apparently hated that deck, but like I never thought it was like that strong. And the thing they could do, like Germany didn't stay on the ban list very long, so they could just do something for a season, like unban Talk a Big Game for the RTN season, and a month ban it again. It's like, I don't know. I think they can take more risks like that.
I really like that idea. I think I agree. I think I would like to see them. I think as well, I've got more confidence with what they're doing with Stage in terms of, with Silver Age, like we're going to have heroes rotate in and out with the way that they're looking at the banning system. I think we can do that with cards as well. I don't think it's... I think there's been a lot of discourse that can be confusing or it sends mixed messages and things like that. But I think if LS is really clear that they would be doing that, that, just because they unban a card now doesn't mean they don't ban it again in the future, I think is perfectly healthy. I've been thinking about Talk a Big Game. I think that I think that would be a nice unban. I think let's try it. Let's see where it lands. And I'd be pretty good.
Maybe it's too strong for Rhinar or Lyeth or Pallades, whoever was the reason behind like being a ban, but like
those heroes suck.
Every combo I hear with that card is like a 5-card combo, so like I don't mind like you if you need to set up a 5-card play to get like 6 value or whatever out of your card, like I think that's kind of reasonable. I'm
here for it. Like those 3 heroes are not good. Like give them a chance to shine and see what happens. Yeah, I'd be there for that. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Michael?
What
do you think of the format, first of all?
Too much. Sorry?
Do you think the format is stale? Do you think, first of all, that,
Oh, yeah. I think it's... I don't know. It's... it's been the same like 3-4 heroes that have been good for the past like, I don't know, half a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just every game just feels so repetitive for the most part. So I really hope they do change something. I don't know what they could though to like make it a reasonable meta still. But I hope they ban Wrath of Retribution because that card is so lame. It's pretty crazy to think like Syndra has been probably the best deck or one of them since it came out, and it just has like no bans the whole time.
Yeah.
And I mean I think banning Wrath probably wouldn't make it that much worse, but that card is so like unfun when you're just like there just having like a good time against a Syndra player, and then they just have their 1 card 11 and you just randomly die. Just I don't know. I don't like that card.
Yeah. I would also fall in that camp. I think I feel like the format is somewhat stale, but what Dilks was saying about, you know, these heroes in their next tier, I do think they are really interesting, right? These heroes that are playing around their next tier. So I think if you kind of take a little bit off the top, so to speak, with the top 3, then I think or at least with 2 of them, then you change the dynamic and you potentially let those decks play even more. Plus, you might see another couple of decks come in. So I think they should do it for RTN season. They might also have some bans or unbans that they want to do ahead of Compendium as well. And I think it would be, if they're going to do those for Compendium, I kind of think like, why not do it now if that's going to help shape the format a little bit as well. So yeah, I would be a big fan of unban, talk a big game, banning Wrath of Retribution. I would probably also might as well hit something from Verdance while we're there as well. I don't know about Gravy. I mean, Gravy's really good, but I don't know I don't know what you tune in Gravy. I don't know, maybe you just take something like Portside Exchange.
It's really hard to hit Gravy without like the gold generation is already like so tight that like you could take Saltwater Swell for example, but like most people only play blue, so it's like not even that impactful. But you could like kind of do that across the board if you wanted to. Like you could ban Saltwater Swell, Autumn's Touch, or Fruits of the Forest, and then ban like Brandis into Claw or Display Loyalty or something like that, and just do like kind of like a shave off all the top 3 decks. I don't know. Again, it just kind of depends on what their goals are.
Yeah, lots of options.
Yeah, I think they could ban like from Gravy maybe Chum or Sawbones. Chum's probably too much, but I don't know. Sawbones pretty annoying, and probably doesn't completely kill the deck. I don't know.
Also, probably let some other aggro decks play potentially as well. Be nice. So. All right, good chat there on potential bans. Well, I guess we'll find out very soon, right? It's not far away.
I think it's 15th. It's right after Seattle.
Yeah, it's like
right after
2
Seattle.
weeks.
Yeah, so we have 2 weeks before Road to National season, which will be nice. I want to move on. Commander Cookout time. If you want to get your questions in for Commander Cookout, please do so. You can drop them in the YouTube comments below if you're watching on YouTube. We also have the comment section on Spotify if you're an audio listener. Apple doesn't really have comment section, so sorry about that. You can blame Apple, I guess. You can email us arsenalpassfab@gmail.com, or you can pass us an in-person note if you like. I have a question for you both this week. It comes from our last YouTube episode. We were talking about Silver Age in part as well. Actually, it came from 2 episodes ago, episode 240. It comes from Sharp1200. Speaking of best of 3 for Silver Age, what if it was bring 3, ban 1? So you present 3 decks to your opponent. You each double blind, ban 1, and then you have to win with each of your other 2 decks. So best of 3. But I guess first of all, feel free to talk about any thoughts you have about Silver Age and any thoughts about best of 3 versus best of 1. But what do you think about this specific best of 3 potential? Michael, maybe we start with you.
I think it could be cool. I don't know, like logistically seems kind of tough to like make someone bring 3 different decks, even if they're like commons and rares. Seems like a lot of work to like prepare for a tournament. So that would be my first worry probably with that type of format.
Just the amount of time you have to spend to find it's hard enough to decide. Yeah. It's hard enough to decide 1 deck, let alone 4, 3 plus your CC deck.
Yeah, I'll have to be like scouring the floors of my room to find these commons. I don't know if I can do it, but I don't know. I think having a best of 3 seems interesting because 20 life formats are occasionally quite painful if you just die on turn 2 randomly out of nowhere. So
yeah,
I don't know. It seems cool, but I would just be worried about getting all the decks together.
Have you played any Silver Age, Michael?
I've played a few games with the Ointment Ultim deck.
Whoa.
It kind of sucks, but yeah, I don't know. The deck sucks.
Reaping Blade Chain doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, that's why you take 1 to gain 3.
Sure, yeah, it's just value.
Yeah.
Dilks, what do you think? Have you played any Sage? What do you think about best of 3? What do you think about this particular best of 3 that a Sharp's asking about?
Well, I mean, I really liked best of 3 for the top 8 of Worlds. It was really, I mean, I was first seed, so I had a lot of benefits behind that. Best of 3 would solve a lot of problems, like Michael said, of 20 life formats, kind of balance out that variance. The only problem is like time limit. Like there's adding the kind of like pick and ban aspect to like the pre-match procedure, and then also potentially playing 3 games. Like you're allocating like probably an hour and a half maybe for 1 round of that. So I mean, I think it would be a great idea if it was actually able to be implemented, but probably not going to happen in like the kind of time window that we normally have.
Yeah, makes sense. I think it's a really cool idea. I mean, I'm a big fan of, one of my favorite parts of watching esports is like the draft phase, right? Like where heroes are banned, or if you've watched, Dota or League, things like that, where heroes are banned and then you're drafting the heroes, or even in Hearthstone, right, where they used to have a similar kind of format where you would effectively ban the deck from the opponent, but it's very different in a digital client as opposed to in person. To your point, Michael, like finding potentially 3 sets of the same card, or it's a bit awkward. So I don't know if it works, and then also just the time constraints, like you spoke about, Dilks. I don't know if it works at an event in particular, but I do think it would be great to see additional. Like personally, I'd love to see at least additional rounds of Silver Age. So because it's short, first of all, right there, the theory, I think Blitz has always been 30-minute rounds, right? It's the same as limited timing. So, and my thought is, especially with, like you say, the variance or the feels bads you can get in some of these 2-turn games, why not just add an additional like 25% of rounds or something? So you can add an additional 2 or 3 rounds to the format. I think I'd like to see. I know. What do you both think about that? If we just added rounds in general?
I think it's, I don't know. I would just go with whatever the amount of rounds you need to determine
top
like
8.
a clean top 8 properly.
Yeah.
I don't really put much stock into like, oh, we should play more Silver Age rounds. I mean, it's very likely when we get to the point I would probably want less and less Silver Age rounds, but we'll see how it goes when we start testing it really. And like it maybe the format just turns out that it's not like this fast, and maybe it's like currently this fast, but like by the time we're playing at PT, it's not that fast, and there's a lot of back and forth. And if that's the case, then it's like it's just fine as a normal best of 1 game, like how it works in CC.
Yeah, Blitz was like that for the first World Championships, right? Like the format seemed super fast, and then they took a few things. I mean, Stormstriders got banned, right, which helped a lot there. And that format slowed down a lot. So we've still got Compendium of Wraith, and we've got, they can impact, obviously, ban and suspended, ban and restricted, announcements. So there's still a lot of road before we get to PT Yokohama and playing Silver Age at that level.
Yep.
What do you think, Michael?
I hope that it's nice games, fun times, but like I can see adding a few more rounds. It would be okay. I don't mind having a bunch of short rounds, but like if they start doing like 10, 15-hour days, bro, get me out. I can't do it.
Yeah, I agree. One of my favorite things about Flesh and Blood is that within the first couple of years, they've been very efficient at events, right? Like getting out of there by 5 p.m. on day 1 and things like that is great to be able to go have your own time, have dinner, things like that, as opposed to getting out of. I mean, I remember playing like Magic GPs that were like 7, 8 o'clock at night. I'm just like, just logistically, all the tournament software would break and you're out of there. Like I remember like going to GP Vegas and day 1 didn't finish until midnight, like stuff like that. So I really appreciate a lower number of rounds and getting out of halls and things like that. I also laugh a little bit though, because Michael, you don't actually like playing good games of Flesh and Blood. You like absolutely just destroying people with cheese. So I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean? What?
It's the man who wants to play like Needles Fi or just like blow up his opponent on turn
that deck
4.
was broken.
Yeah, but
His
what
best
I mean.
deck.
You just
That
want to
and
play
Leviathan
broken
were the
stuff.
best decks.
You don't want to grind.
Yeah. No, I played Oldhim. I played Oldhim for such a long time.
Yeah, because it's broken.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. If you want to get your questions in for Commander Cookout, please do so. Thank you for your question there, Sharp. Thank you both for jumping in and answering as well. I'm interested to see where Silver Age goes. I am really keen for Compendium. I think, honestly, personally, I don't know how you both feel, but I wasn't at the World Championships, of course, but when I watched the keynote, I was actually, first of all, nice and short, which is great, but genuinely excited for Compendium and the potential of Silver Age. I really like the idea of rotating heroes. I don't know how I feel about the community deciding on how or which of those heroes rotate. Well, I guess time will tell, but I like the idea of rotating heroes in and out. I guess we'll see how that works with, yeah, I'm just really interested to see like almost like an election, like content creators like, all right, this time around we're pushing chain. It's chain for good. You know, this is a leftist chain angle that we're taking here on this one. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
I want to move on to main topic, and a big, part of the reason, other than just having some great company on the pod this week for having you both on, is I want to talk teams in Flesh and Blood, and we've had across the years many questions about what team dynamics look like in Flesh and Blood, how people come to be on a team, first of all, how they work within a team, how do teams test and prepare for events, and who better to ask than two teammates who just made the finals of the World Championships together in terms of what a successful team can look like. So I guess before we get into some of those more specifics about teams and developing teams, I want to ask you about PCG Invasion and your history with teams in general. So maybe, I guess, whoever wants to take it, but how did Team PCG Invasion come about? First of all, and I guess what's your history with the team, both of you?
You want me to go?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
You were first.
Yeah. So primarily, it's just mostly like kind of a group of friends. I guess it would have initially started like back in PT1. You kind of had two camps. It was like the Harry T crew, which is like Aaron, Isaac, Sean, and D-Rude. And then it was kind of bridged by Tark, and then Tark was like kind of the OG like Team Dragon Shield, which would have been like Tark, Matt, Nick, King Rob, and then
King Rob.
Joel would have been like the friend of Team Dragon Shield, a spot that I would find myself in as well. And since Tark would bridge that like two groups, like eventually those would kind of form into one anyway. By the time Lil came around, those two groups were kind of connected together, and that's kind of where I arrive on the scene as well for Lil. And then kind of it was like San Jose Worlds, we kind of maintained that, and then into like Barcelona is when we would have picked up like Jacob and T and some more Americans, and kind of that's where probably the most of the core of the team has been together since Barcelona. I don't exactly remember when Michael came in. It was well before Baltimore, which is kind of within the same year as Barcelona. But yeah, by the time we were around Barcelona time, that the core of the team, and we've had some additions since then, and some people have left or taken breaks.
Attractions.
But yeah, that's kind of the core has been together since Barcelona.
Yeah, Michael, when did you enter the frame?
I think it was probably a few months before. I think it was a ProQuest or RTN season before Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that was, but maybe a few months before Baltimore.
Makes sense.
Like obviously, we're all roughly local
then.
to each other for the most part. The like kind of the Canada, Toronto portion of this equation, like other than the names I listed, was like Nick and Matt. Everybody was kind of in this area. So yeah, through like networking, Michael probably gets involved and some other people as well.
So, I mean, really, a group of friends, a group of people who just like each other, right, and want to play games together is the core of this this team. But I mean, it's true, right? Like people might overcomplicate and think that there's like a selection process or things like that. But I would say, obviously, Tarek and Matt, I think, linked up first of all in terms of bridging that gap because of the experience of card games they'd played previously, and also I think recognizing talent in each other, right? So I guess there is some basis of that, but also, like you say, friendship, right? Friendship wins at the end of the day.
We got good vibes on our team.
Good vibes. And then I guess shout out to Invasion Gaming as well, right? Coming on and sort of sponsoring the team through this year, and PCG Invasion sort of as a team, I guess, being around since London this year, right? I guess has been, so this has been,
I think Osaka, maybe
Osaka
last year.
Yeah, okay, Osaka, yeah, Osaka. So a full year, right? Which has been awesome as well. What do you think has made the team so successful this year? Because obviously, if we go back to Pro Tour London, 2 and top 8, right? For yourselves, World Championships, of course, 3, and then a world champion sitting right here in front of us. So what are some of those things that has it been something that's been over the long term? Like you say, going back to PT1, PT2, and some of that continuity, is it something that's been new this year that has sort of, I guess, elevated the team?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Michael.
All right, I'll go. Basically, I think we've all been like pretty competitive since the start when we started playing Fab. So a bunch of us have a ton of experience. But then this year, we definitely tried harder. Like at the start of the year, London was a little sus because we were all trying to play like Florian or something. But Dilks was grinding out the Aurora deck. And then at the end, we're like, all right, let's just play Aurora. But definitely for Worlds, we started to like really like setting up meetings with everybody and trying to get on the same page to have a better testing process. Because we're all friends, a lot of the times our testing just ends up being a bunch of boys chilling in the call, just having a good time. And sometimes we don't exactly get the most serious testing going. But for Worlds specifically, we definitely tried a lot for this one. So happy that it paid off.
More focused testing over the year. And I guess, has there been more structure to that testing as well in terms of the process through the weeks leading up? And also, do you get together in person? Is that a factor as well?
Yeah, before Worlds, a bunch of us, not all of us, but a good amount of us pulled up to Tarek's house and had a good time practicing in person. It's actually kind of funny because at Tarek's house, basically we'd have like 2 people playing CC, or maybe 4, and then just on the other side of the table, there's just 1 or 2 people just goldfishing the Dio deck in LL just by themselves. That was a good time.
What are your thoughts, Dilks?
I would say definitely this year we introduced a lot more structure and kind of goals in our testing, weekly meetings and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say like our previous years were like that down, just because we weren't like under the umbrella of like a team spotlighted. Like we still had multiple people with tier 4 top 8s, like Tark top Amsterdam, Aaron topped in Barcelona, Isaac PT1, Joel in LA. Joel's retired now, but we want him back. But he topped LA. So like, and we have like multiple time calling champions and national champions as well. So it's not like it was like kind of like a breakout year for us. It's just like the marquee top 8s all at once is like definitely kind of I would say lucky, but yeah, a lot of more hard work and more structure to our testing process this year, I would say.
Yeah, the team has been super consistent, I think, across everyone has had some amount of success over the years in that group, right? And you spoke about like the core group, then also like as a friendship group, and then players that have come in and out over the years as well, whether they be players who are at that time sort of grinding hard and then maybe a not heading to events. I miss Joel. Where's Joel? Right.
Bring back Joel.
He's
Yeah, he
living
went
his
to an
best
armory
life.
last week.
Oh wow!
Or 2 weeks ago.
I know
Yeah.
Isaac has come back recently as well, right? After not playing for a couple of PTs, things like that. So I think there's going back to PT1, right? Like Isaac topped PT1. He was part of your group as well, right? So a part of that sort of wider crew of Canadians.
It's depending how you count it, like he was like, he was definitely like kind of their own group, because sometimes we can be very secretive, I would say, among some of the members of our group. So it wasn't always so open, I would, to new stuff. But I mean, there was a bridge there. So like, I'm a count it for now, but technically, I don't know if they were all testing together that closely.
Yeah. I think you guys have done such a great job, like you say, of being more open as time has progressed, right? And bring you've even taken pity and brought me in as well. So for whatever that's worth. But you've even had some pity invites.
We gotta have a Reinar player
to go with the Levia player, so we can test against each other. We can play brute
Exactly.
merits. Okay. What I guess I do want to focus on one thing. Singapore. Because Singapore was, I guess, not the best event for the group and the team overall. Not, I wouldn't say, obviously not a disaster or anything, but maybe overall results weren't as strong as obviously London or World. So was that just the way it goes sometimes? It just doesn't work out. You don't get the luck on the day, or was there something that you reflected on from Singapore that didn't work that you sort of approached differently coming into the World Championships?
I think there's partly like that's true, like it would just like kind of wasn't our day, but also I think it was on the back of national season, and a lot of people were kind of burnt out by the time we were getting to Singapore, and also not everybody was going to Singapore. So I think there was kind of like a slight downturn in effort, I would say, just because of like the amount of people that we could have working on stuff. But I mean, our results were still like very good. Like all the Cinder boys, I think, all cashed. I top 32'd with my last minute pivot to Kasai. That was foolish, but I got conned into bringing warrior cards to Singapore. So I mean, it was probably not our obviously compared to the other two tier 4 events this year, not our best performance, but and I think I definitely overlooked some stuff for that event. But it wasn't the worst either.
Couple of top 16s in the calling as well. Not awful,
Not awful, yeah. I mean, that event, for some reason, we just like a bunch of us, not you, Hayden, but a bunch of us just like disregarded Slippy. We're like, we tested maybe like a few games at the start, and we're like, dude, Syndra beats this is fine. Slippy's not real. And then it's like the day before the event, and we're just getting destroyed by Slippy, and we start dooming. I don't know. We stayed the course with the Syndra, some of us, and it was okay.
I was also disrespecting
Slippy.
Slippy
Was the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know how we disregarded Slippy. Like we're just like
it was the gravy matchup for Slippy. A lot of
true.
Slippy was disregarded because of how poor the gravy matchup was seeming for us. But yeah, I mean, I wish I got on the plane with a Slippy deck. We'll say.
Yeah, me too.
I think in that testing process, like at one point the Syndra matchup, but it was like I feel like it was going back and forth, and then there was like all the D-reacts felt like it was doing enough to solve the matchup, and then the gravy matchup just didn't feel good. And then I think Xavier McLean like won Japanese nationals with like a more refined list, like a significantly more refined list, I would say. And then I started playing. I know a few of us started playing it that week. So I think Japan nationals was late, so maybe it was like 3 weeks before Singapore or something. And it was like, this is pretty good. But even the day before, like personally, I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm playing. I was like 2 games of Syndra, 2 games of Slippy. Like I felt it was really tough to to get off Syndra personally.
Well, I was playing Syndra, and then like the day before, I was playing the Slippy deck into like Jacob Baugh on Syndra. And I like 7-0'd him, and I'm just like,
Oh
I can't.
no.
I
Yeah.
like this.
Okay. Makes sense. I think to your point, right? Like also just sometimes even when I think people underestimate prepping for events as well. And I guess I'd be curious to you both, how much success have you had when you stay the course versus when you chop and change your decks? Like, do you have a preference? Do you think one is definitely better than the other? Do you think you can fall victim to either staying the course and ending up on the wrong deck, or even chopping and changing and just not having enough experience on a list? What has been your sort of personal experiences? Maybe I'll start with you, Michael.
I'm the worst for this because I bring like 10 decks with me to every tournament. Actually, this last at Worlds at like 8 p.m. the Thursday night before, I was buying Marlin cards to play in Living Legend. And I don't know. I just change my deck every few hours. It's bad. I wish I could just like decide on one deck and just stay with it. I think I'd probably do better if I did that, but that's not the way I am.
What do you think you'll do next year? Do you think you'll be able to? It'll be more of the same, more of the class. I
won't. I can't be saved.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, even if you said that you're gonna stay the course, I don't believe you anyway. So
no.
Dilks, thoughts?
I mean, I definitely do better when I'm more solidified on what deck I'm gonna play and not waffling. And I usually end up just kind of defaulting to that way anyway. I was definitely kind of been waffling quite a bit through like the national season and even into Worlds, but I kind of defaulted back to Gravy because I played it like so much after Singapore. I was grinding Gravy, and then when they put out the BNR, I was also just grinding, trying to figure out the deck after that. And like, yeah, all my like solid finishes I'd say in this game are all off decks that I've been like basically grinding for months, I would say.
Very comfortable with. Yeah, it's so funny. I feel like you two are the two ends of the spectrum on Team PCG Invasion in terms of Dilks is usually the most locked, I would say, and Michael, you are usually the least locked. Although I would say you claim you are locked the most.
I do. I'm always locked, but I'm never actually locked.
I've never seen so many padlock emojis from one person in my life.
Yeah. I mean, that Dio deck that I played in Living Legend, I think I played like 3 or 4 games before Worlds. But Tark told me to play it, so I played it. I don't know.
You play it. That's how it works. All right. I want to move on to maybe some advice, some tips, some thoughts from you both on what makes a good team. We've heard from your personal experience on the team as it's evolved over the years to what is now Team PCG Invasion. But there's a lot of players out there who, may be looking to start a team, or, maybe it's with a group of friends like yourselves when you started, or are looking to get involved with the team but want to make sure they find the right group of players to be a part of. I think there's also, as this game grows, I want to be pretty open about this. I think there's been a real spotlight on teams, right? So I think there's like this kind of almost aura around what a team in Flesh and Blood can look like, right? Just as there is in other competitive games of being on a team and what that means, and it looks cool from the outside, right? So I think I'm going to acknowledge that one. But if you've got any, I guess, what are the ingredients in your view that make up a good team or lead to team success in Flesh and Blood? And I think we'll start with you, Dilks.
I mean, I would say shared goals and values is like number one, and then number two, you have to enjoy the company of the people that you're interacting with, especially when we're talking about ultimately this is a hobby. So I mean, you have to enjoy what you're doing outside of your regular 9 to 5.
When you say shared goals, what do you mean by that? How do you come up with those shared goals? Is that something that you feel you determine before you even decide to link up with people, or is that something that you feel is decided when you're already with that group?
I think it's nothing like even spoken really, but it's like kind of like a mindset and vibe you get from other people. Like I would say everybody that on our team wants to win, and is willing to like put in the time for the most part, and grind out and give ourselves the best chance to win, and uh, and that's winning at the top level. And not everybody's goal is like that high. So like, if your goal is just like just improvement or like improve in your local level, qualify for the Pro Tour, like that's completely different. We're talking about like winning at the highest level and like and just winning in general.
Mm-hmm. So immaculate vibes and a similar level of where you would like to achieve your results. Makes sense. Michael, what do you think? Ingredients to success?
I think the vibes are the most important by far. I mean, I'll just hop on Discord. I'll watch my boy Dilks play some Call of Duty, hang out with the boys, and then maybe get some testing in. I mean, I don't think if we weren't all super close, it would be nearly as enjoyable to practice Fab. And then I think we'd end up I think we do get burnt out pretty often, like a bunch of us. But I think if our vibes weren't as high, it'd be a lot harder to actually keep grinding and getting better at the game.
I think that's really interesting because is there an element of that sort of close-knitness and friendship that also opens up your conversations? Like, do you think you can be more honest with each other, or you can hold each other to account more and things like that? Do you think that is a benefit?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the boys will yell at me saying that I'm being stupid while I play whatever deck. So, it's better to learn from people telling me like to play differently rather than just them not saying anything, or if like they're not comfortable telling you you're wrong. So like having everybody just like trust each other and like respect each other that way, it's definitely a lot more helpful for getting better at the game.
Yeah. Do you think it's important to have different roles within a team of Flesh and Blood, or do you think like do you need a quote unquote team captain or leader? Like, what's your experience with that, and do you think it's something that people should think about?
Oh, I would definitely say so, because I don't know if you've ever tried to leave a convention center with like
oh my gosh,
but you can't do it. It's like a bunch of like little children like running around. It takes like 4 hours to get out of there. But so like for us, I would definitely say like Tarek is kind of the guy who just like makes sure everybody is in line, kind of. So I think without that, it's like just the way that our brains are built, it's so hard to actually get people to like do what is better for the group and like actually have like, I don't know, just like you need someone to make sure that everybody is in line.
Mm-hmm.
Tarek is our guy for sure.
My nightmare fuel is like I sometimes I go to sleep and I have nightmares about trying to speed run getting food with a group of gamers. Like, that is proper nightmare fuel. It's just impossible.
Oh, it's horrible.
Dilks, what do you think?
If we need leadership or not? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's important to like, not everyone can kind of delegate for themselves, and we're working in kind of our free time, so like it is important to have someone kind of lead. It's not like in this aspect it is Tark sometimes, but like it's important to like kind of pick up the slack when you see it. I mean, it's like I think I've been at that role sometimes, and like I think a lot of people, it's like I describe us as like lemmings sometimes. We're just trying to like latch onto somebody's vibe. So like, yeah, it could be me. Some like it was Jacob in Barcelona. Like, I don't know. It's just like a lot of different people, but it is important to have some level of structure still, even though we're just trying to kind of vibe out and enjoy our off time.
Into the elder statesman in the team for some direction. What do you personally? I'm a big fan of team sports, and particularly I guess team organization sports. So like esports, I'm always fascinated by how they set up their team dynamic. The level that they're at is obviously insane in some of those esports, but I mean, I'm wearing a Formula One top today. I'm really interested in like Formula One team dynamics and how they set up teams and things like that. Is there things that you take from either teams you've been in the past before PCG Invasion or before this group that you've been a part of, or from other games that you've played, or even just from other sports or games that you're interested in that you sort of plug into your team that you think works for you?
Maybe not from like other sports or anything, but I know a few of our like team members went and joined the super team for Pro Tour London. And I think when they came back, like they like shared how their testing process was, like more structured with like meetings and stuff. So I think we implemented that, and it definitely made our like process more like streamlined and organized. But I haven't really thought too much about like other like games and like sports and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't want to take any cues from ice hockey and throw gloves down before you actually get into a game of flesh and blood. Use that first 5 minutes differently.
Happy to do it.
Especially if it was against me.
Actually, that's a good question. When you were both playing, what was it like playing the final against each other? Was it just like vibing out like you normally would, just without the peanut gallery, I guess?
Sure, no peanut gallery.
I think we started out pretty unserious, but yeah, we kind of locked in after a few turn cycles of the first game, I would say.
Sure.
But I mean, I don't know.
More.
It was a different. I don't know. It was definitely different. It's hard to explain exactly how, but yeah, I didn't really. It was just, I don't know. We were just playing some games.
Yeah, the vibes were still good.
Vibes are still good, but if you want to know exactly what it feels like, you'll have to go and do it yourself. That's what you're saying, basically.
I don't know. I think it would have been different, like if I was playing against someone else. But like, I don't know. It's hard to explain exactly how it was, but yeah, just some games.
Some games.
I want to talk about the current group that you have is somewhat international, but not as international as you've had in the past. You've previously worked with Europeans as well in a big way. So I guess how do you make that work? Like for those out there, I know there's players in Flesh and Blood who either make friendships through things like Discord or through traveling to different events, callings, PTs, etc. End up connecting with players from all around the world. But logistically, that's challenging, right? So I guess any thoughts or advice on how in the past you've made that work, or how even you currently try and make that work when you've got some players? I mean, we managed to jump on a call and do a podcast this morning, but even that, can be difficult timing wise. So yeah, many thoughts.
I mean, for the most part, everyone kind of has to bend to the will of North America, I would say. That's where most of us are, and we, for the most part, kind of work within the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So I think it mostly just kind of works out. I mean, Nick gets up like hella early in Australia and jumps in the call a lot of the times. But I mean, not everybody gets to kind of join when we're all on all the time, but sometimes our calls go to pretty late in the night, so it kind of does span some time zones usually. But when we're talking about like the actual formal meetings, we usually try to kind of pick times that make it work for at least the most people, especially people that are actually attending the events. So that's when we'll kind of go out of our way to kind of set stuff up like that. But yeah, for the most part, we're working within like kind of outside our normal 9 to 5 working nighttime.
Yeah.
What do you think, Michael?
I mean, I think a bunch of us have pretty horrible sleep schedules, so it helps a bit.
I was waiting for that.
We'll be up till 3 a.m, and so maybe some of the Australian people, New Zealanders, can try and get on. I think it's the hardest, definitely, for our European friends, because that time zone with like Eastern Standard Time
it's rough.
It's tough.
Yeah. At least with APAC, I would say, like a lot of the time, because it's almost, it's the best part of the 24 hours difference in some environments to EST. It's just like, well, actually, sometimes you can make this work. Like I think we kicked off at 3 p.m. for you guys. It's like 7 a.m. for me. Like, it is workable. But I think you just got to find compromise as well, right? To your point, like I think biggest part of the group is always going to help you determine that. But I love that you guys have also tried to compromise for those key times when you're prepping and depending on where people are in the world. So I think that's great.
Mm-hmm. You gotta get all the boys in the call, you know?
Try and get everyone in. I guess we've kind of spoken through advice and things that you think make a good team. Let's move on to yourselves and back focusing on Team PCG Invasion. What's next for you both in 2026? Or to round out the year, of course, we've got Seattle. I think you're off to Seattle, Michael, at least. Mm-hmm. What's next for you both? And yeah, what can we expect?
Yeah, I'm going to Seattle in I guess it'll probably be a week when this comes out. Pretty excited for that. I don't know what I'm going to play. Hopefully not Jarl, but then
can't wait to see Leviah show up.
It could be. Honestly, it could be. If someone convinces me, if Tarek says I'll play Leviah with you, I'm down. But
Mansent's going to be in your DMs immediately.
I mean, I hope it happens. I love that deck, but I'll definitely be trying to go to a bunch of events next year. Definitely all the tier 4s, so should be a good time.
First trip to China, maybe Shanghai before Vegas. But that's kind of you're already in America, I guess. You're so close to America.
There's a calling before.
Yeah, Shanghai is before where Yokohama.
Oh, it's before Yokohama. Yeah. Okay. And then Japan's before Vegas. There you go. So you go Shanghai and then Yokohama.
I might do it. I mean, the flight. I was looking. It's about the same price to go there. That would stop there. So
I could be convinced.
Oh, dude, pull up, and we can play Reinar and Leviah together, bro.
If I'm going, I'm playing something good.
No.
Whoa.
So all the tier 4s next year. Dilks, what about you? Because I remember standing in Singapore and you were weighing up, maybe not playing as much going forward. So you've just made the finals of the World Championships. You've made maybe the biggest result in your gaming career. What's next for Matthew Dilks?
I mean, I like to lord over my retirement over the entire group. I like to kind of threaten it at all points.
Okay. So it wasn't the first time. I see.
Yeah. I plan on attending all the tier 4s for sure. That's basically all I did this year. I didn't get to play in a single calling this year.
Okay.
Just kind of how schedules have worked out, different life things working out and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll play in some callings next year. I'm planning to go to Columbus and Montreal in the new year. Those are kind of driving distance callings, which we haven't had, I don't think, in a while. So that's definitely a benefit of getting out to those. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of, in terms of anything outside of a tier 4, I think it's kind of go with the flow. Whatever, if I think the format's good or I'm enjoying a particular deck and it's close, I'll go.
I like that. I think I have a similar outlook. You surely got to play the world premiere. It was in your backyard.
No, Montreal was on the same weekend as Aaron's wedding.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we didn't get to attend that one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, we've heard a lot from you both and your thoughts on teams and creating a team. Speaking, I guess, of probably the most, if not up there in the top 2 or 3 most dominant teams this year. I'm gonna say the most dominant. I mean, you've got the world champ here, so people, I think, are interested in what you guys have to say and what you have to add. And I think on that, you've got some news that you want to share as well around what the team's doing around some content and things like that coming up over the next foreseeable future.
We're planning to kind of put something together content-wise. Not all of the details have been fully ironed out yet, but generally we're looking at kind of a bi-weekly type content schedule for a small subscription fee, like $5 or something like that, and you get access to everything that we're doing on there. But it'll be ranging from written content to video content, just gameplay, and maybe some VOD review if we're ever fortunate enough to have some camera matches and stuff like that. And especially when draft comes back eventually, that'll probably in the rotation as well. So more news to come on that, but it's definitely in the works for us.
Yeah, hopefully before Seattle. Hopefully.
Yep.
You have something for potentially for players heading to Seattle, to a resource potentially.
Yeah, we'll likely be kicking off with kind of a guide for the gravy deck that I played in Worlds, maybe slightly updated. Just kind of what the idea of a series for us is kind of like what we would play at the event, even if we're not going, which I'm not, but it will probably be kicking off with the gravy deck list from Worlds.
Nice. Yeah, I think first of all we'll share that out when you have landed on your platform and what that looks like. We'll share that here on Arsenal Pass as well, so that people can get access to that. I think I might be a little bit biased, but I think in terms of the way that you as a group prepare decks, prepare your plans, the way that you discuss and talk about strategies, I think is just absolutely top tier. So I think there's so much that people can take away from what you as a group going to put out, and also sticking your heads together, right? You've each person in the group has, I think, different strengths. You've got deck builders, you've got deck executors, you've got strategy refiners, right? So you've got people who have, and you guys have tended to coalesce on 1 to 3 decks through events for the most part, except when people register things like Levire, of course. So there's a lot of wealth of knowledge in the team, and it's exciting that you guys are going to share that out and take some people on the journey with you. So we'll definitely be plugging your content there. I guess I sign off and end the pod, I just want to give you guys the opportunity to shout out anyone that you would like to, and where can people find you if they want to follow you, or we'll share how they can get a hold of your content. But personally, Michael,
me,
let's start with the champ. Come on,
shout out to the boys on Team PCG Invasion. My Twitter is my name too, because I forgot the password of the first one, so got the second one. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hyped to test more with my friends on our epic team.
Nice.
Yeah.
You, Dilks, any shout outs?
I mean, I'll just echo to shout out with PCG Invasion, everybody on our team, and Arsenal Pass.
Oh yeah, true. Arsenal Pass.
You're listening too.
You're listening to.
I got to shout you guys out
I
for.
can't listen to this week.
Yeah, exactly. I got to shout you guys out for making fun of me, I guess, but also hyping me up sometimes. So I appreciate it. I love working, being around you guys. Awesome. Well, that has been episode 242 of Arsenal Pass, a conversation with 2 of the PCG Invasion team on Teams. Look out for their content coming very soon. If you're off to Seattle next weekend, best of luck. Pankaj will be back on the pod this week. He's out traveling. The man is a globetrotter. I think he's in India at the moment for a family wedding or something. So, just a casual trip across to another continent. He'll be back next week, though. And until the next episode, we'll see you in the next one.